My mom wanted to hire a lawyer, but we weren't sure if our case was strong enough. Is this some sort of what my mom would call murder? Thank you so much for taking your time to listen to me and the story of my grandmother who passed away from COVID-19.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt, but I noticed a huge portion of you are not subscribed. Guys, we are so close to 70,000 subscribers. So if you enjoy my content, then please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. It only takes 1 second and it really helps a lot. This video shout out is from Twitter. Thank you, Leaf, for being awesome. Now let's get back to the video.
My grandmother was mostly healthy and she was a very energetic person. Her personality was quite stubborn at times, and I think because she had dementia, she started to act a little more childish from time to time. And my mom always went to see her. Every day after work, she goes to see her almost like 24/7. And when coronavirus came around, we didn't think that it would get so close to home, but our nursing facility, which is where my grandmother stayed at, decided to do some protocols. And so ever since March, we weren't able to see her at all. No visitors were allowed whatsoever. We got a call on April 8th, and they conducted the first test. Then on April 11th, they told us that she was tested negative. And so that brought my family a lot of relief that she was going to be okay. I think 10 days later, they didn't tell us that she was going to be conducted a second test. And so on the 19th, I woke up to my mom receiving a call, and my mom told me that grandma was tested positive for COVID-19. My mom was very, very upset. So the nurses told us that they would do everything they could to keep grandmother feel comfortable as possible. They also told us that she did not appear to have any COVID-19 symptoms. So this source of information brought us a little bit of comfort that maybe she will get better. I tried to see things in a positive aspect as much as I could during this time. 2 days after, on April the 21st, I believe, my mom got another call from the facility in the morning that she would be transferred to the emergency room due to having pneumonia. And that was when the nurses gave us a video call. She didn't even get a 1-minute conversation with my grandmother. And it's difficult because grandma has dementia. So not seeing the person face to face and who she's talking to was very confusing to her. Since the nurses gave us the last video call with her, I remember how she looked, how she smiled, and she didn't speak any English. They were all in Chinese. She would say, I am okay, I'm going to do fine, I don't have to be scared, I'll be okay. The next part was pretty rough because I can honestly say that my mother was in great distress and there was just so much conflicting feelings. Everything was just so hard to understand right when she was sent to the ER. On April the 24th, around 1 o'clock, we received a call from a doctor. He was in charge of the emergency room. He told us that grandma wasn't doing so well and that she was in a very critical condition. And this call was probably going to be the most important call that changed everything. He told us that we had two decisions to make. The first decision was to have Grandma use a breathing machine as a source to assist her in breathing. Because of her age and the condition she was in, a lot of people die from this with the help of the breathing tube. And the more he talked about this method, it sounded a little too aggressive. And the doctor said the second method was to give Grandma a comfortable kind of setting, meaning that they keep her comfortable with medication until the time comes for her to pass away naturally. They told us that they would not resuscitate her as well. For the first method, the doctor informed us that 90% of people pass away from using the breathing machine. And so because that we were worried if the first method would be too much for my grandmother, we all decided as a family to let her feel at least comfortable before she goes. My mom tried her hardest, her everything to go see grandmother when she was at the ER. She would stop by, and her sister would stop by as well to deliver some tea, the kind of tea that my grandmother liked to drink. And not a long period of time, we get some news here and there from the nurses and doctors telling us how she was doing. On April 27th, my mom came home early from work, and she told me that she received a call from the ER telling her that she passed away. And it was very difficult for my mom to express how she felt. She tried to do things to distract her mind from the feelings of just pain, the pain of losing her mother. And I understood that very well. I wish I could take those feelings from her heart, because she has worked very hard to make sure that my grandmother lived as happy as she could. I had a church and kept emailing them from time to time to keep them updated on what's going on. They've done a lot for us. They went as far as to paying off the expenses for her cremation, and even delivered food during such a difficult time of COVID. And I'm really glad to have that kind of support for my family. And I really appreciate the kindness that they extended for us. My grandmother had 2 roommates with her. They were both healthy and in good condition. And then three days later, they passed away, and it was from COVID as well. The nursing facility there, it's very difficult to explain. It's a 50-50 percentage of nurses who care and provide empathy and actually cherish the people and patients and treat them like their family member. And the other 50% that don't love their job, don't care about the people, and are dismissive about the well-beings towards their patients. There is much more like negligence that I probably am afraid to come out and tell people. But I wanted to do this because I feel like people need to understand that COVID-19 is pretty real, and that it doesn't care who you are once you get it. That's it. And it can be so scary. Sometimes I wondered if I did enough, or what if we were to let Grandma use a breathing tube, but everything already happened and we can't take it back. We cannot reverse time. It doesn't stop for anyone. My grandmother took care of me ever since I was born and was running around with 2 stubby feet. The last thing that I remember my mom saying was that she took Grandma to get a haircut. And because the car couldn't fit her inside, it was too small, she took the wheelchair and walked with Grandma all the way to the hair salon to get a haircut, and even walked back all the way to the nursing facility. She would always be missed. My mom wanted to hire a lawyer, but we weren't sure if our case was strong enough. There were not half, but a few people, including employees, that were tested with COVID-19. And this was when my grandmother didn't have it. And so I believe because they poorly executed their maintenance, and as well as making sure that everyone is organized, that's when things got out of hand. And they conducted a second test. And that's when everyone started to have COVID, even employees. I remember trying to think in my mind what it would be like to be in front of the jury, in front of the judge, in front of the nursing facility that took in my grandmother. I know that people will wonder, why couldn't you change into a different nursing facility? If that was the case, why couldn't they take better care of our grandma? This was your responsibility, the job that you took, that you studied for, to care for someone else's life. Why couldn't you just do something right? It's very intimidating to see how they handle things and get away with. There's this some sort of what my mom would call murder. She hated that facility for taking away my grandmother's life, because it made her either feel very upset or very sad. When we were going through this, I made sure that I wasn't too caught up into feelings, so that way I could help my family when it came to translating and helping them understand what was going on with Grandma. After that, I think I just had a moment where I wasn't sure what I was doing. I wasn't sure what I was thinking. I was afraid of dying, or maybe ending up like my grandmother. I've learned over time to not think of such things, and that I'm still here now. I still have my mother here as well. So I want to spend as much time with her as I can. Go travel or just have fun. Make her laugh more and just experience life as a beautiful adventure. I know the grief that Mom feels is never ending, and how the facility treated my grandmother is suspicious, questionable, and harsh. But I want to do everything I can now to focus on my mother and making her feel happy. She's doing good now, because after my grandmother passed away, my mom took a break and she had a moment to herself, to think about her feelings and memories that she had with her mother. When the COVID is over, next summer, my mother plans to go to China so she could bring my grandmother over there to be with her husband, to be together. In the end of the day, everyone needs to come together. Make sure that you take great care of yourself. Make sure that you stay safe and wear face masks. But it's always important to think about yourself. Think about your family that you need to go back home to. And think about people who are most important to you. To take care of your health. Funny enough, I'm going to share this to my mom.
Oh, really? Aw, that's awesome.
Yeah. Just gonna tell her that I love her very much. And whatever life throws at us, whatever kind of feelings of grief we feel together, I would love to continue to be by her side. I am proud to have a mother like her, and I'm so thankful that I'm her daughter. It's a hard job.
I really hope her story helped you in some way, and if it did, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. And if you enjoyed this, you might as well go check out another one of my videos, and you should definitely join our Discord server and follow me on Twitter.